Welcome back to the Detail Garage. Today we've got this Ariel Atom in the shop. This is a car that you probably haven't seen, or at least you don't see very often, especially not in this condition. The owner drives this car really hard, and as you can see, it's thrashed. The areas that are exposed have all kinds of dirt, debris, rocks, water spots. It's because this car gets out in the canyon and just gets completely beaten. So today we're going to clean it up using our rinse-free wash to get off all that loose dirt and debris that's stuck on the small areas, the paintwork, the wheels, inside here on the pan. And it's going to get it all cleaned up without adding any kind of shine, because as you can see, this car has a matte finish that we don't want to add any streaks or staining to. So over here we have a rinse-free wash, and I've already set up a bottle with some water. This is our professional spray bottle, and we'll just add 1 to 3 ounces. Since this car is fairly dirty, we're going to add a little bit more for some added cleaning power. And all you need to do is squirt into the bottle, and that's about 3 ounces right there. And this product is super easy to use. All you do is spray it directly on the surface, and then using a clean microfiber towel, just wipe off any excess. Now what's great about this is that if you're working on a car such as this one where it's exposed surfaces, where it doesn't have much body panels, if you were to foam this car or to wash this car with a traditional bucket and a hose, you're going to get water in everywhere in this. So being able to control the solution is going to be easier for you to clean up, and it's also going to give the car an overall better look. So to begin, we're going to use our waterless wash solution to pick up all that dirt and debris. But before we do that, we're going to vacuum all the inside where there's some rocks and pebbles that are actually, trapped underneath the pan here. It's in the seat because, like I said, this car gets out there, it's in the canyon, it's beaten up on the road, and it shows. You got all kinds of dirt, debris all over this car, scratches. So we're going to do our best to get it all cleaned up, get this car looking its best. So I've just finished vacuuming this Ariel Atom. It took care of the loose dirt and debris that was sitting on top of the pan down here. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of surfaces where actual rocks and pebbles can sit, because this car is super exposed to the elements and anything that can land in there. But also, since it's super open, anything can be just pulled right back out again. So for the areas where there's the embedded gross debris and dirt that sits on here, water spots, we're going to use our rinse-free. All you need to do is spray it on the surface. We can start up here on the glass. As you can see, this is the highest point. Just a couple sprays, and we're gonna let that sit, because although this car is an outdoors car, it gets beat up, we don't want to add any new scratches or swirls. Especially on surfaces such as this where it's matte, you can't polish this because that will add shine. So if you put a scratch in there, unfortunately it's gonna be there for the rest of its life unless you repaint it. So using one of our fluffer Supra Towels, start wiping off in one direction, put this down, and picking up all the dirt and the excess product, restore the clarity back to the glass. What's also great if you're working on a matte finish car such as this one and you want a waterless product, instead of using a quick detail spray or a waterless wash solution like EcoSmart, you can reach for rinse free, because it's not going to add any shine, but it's still going to take off any kind of that gross debris. Now that I finished working on the glass, there's only really 2 pieces of glass on this car. You got the windshield and the mirrors, but I'm going to work around the rest of the vehicle. As I mentioned, this car has a lot of matte surfaces, so I'm going to spray this on there and let this trap and encapsulate any kind of dirt and debris that's sitting on the surface. This way we don't scratch it, because if you do scratch matte, unfortunately that's how it's going to stay unless you repaint it or take it off and paint it an actual glossy finish. So we're going to let that sit there, pick up all that product. Over here on the fenders, there's all this kind of runoff and dirt and debris that you pick up as you're beating up your car. And then also on the structure of the vehicle, this is a kind of half satin, half glossy sheen. Spray a little bit on there, and then we'll pick it all up using our fluffer Supra Towel. We're moving right along on the detail of this Ariel Atom. As I mentioned, we're going to move on to the claying process because the seats have some kind of impurity stuck in the finish. So using our light clay bar, I'll just tear off a small piece because as you use a clay bar, if you've never used a clay bar before, you don't want to use the whole thing up at once. Because if you drop this on the ground, it's just like a piece of gum. It's going to pick up all that kind of gross contaminants, and if you put it back on your finish, it's going to start scratching. So this is a small piece, so I've kneaded it up into a disc that covers about 2 or 3 fingers, and then using our clay luber, we'll go over to the car. So what I like to do is I'll spray my hand, and also spray the bar, and then starting up here at the top of the seat, give it a generous mist, and then working back and forth, just taking off any kind of the impurities or contamination that's stuck in the pores of the carbon fiber. This way, it'll take care of any kind of things that can harm the finish, and then it'll make it easier for any new products to stick to it like our jet seal. Every so often you want to take a clean microfiber towel and just wipe off the excess. This way you can, one, check your work, and also to prevent any kind of discoloration or it drying on there and causing stains. So now, super smooth, nice and quiet. This area is ready for the application of jet seal. We're going to go ahead and finish off the rest of the seats, then we'll apply that jet seal. That way we can keep on moving with this detailing process because this car, super fast. We got to get it in and out of here. This thing's going beast mode, so we're going to go beast mode on our detailing process, get it done as fast as we can, making it look just nice. Do-do-do-do-do. So if you look on the clay bar, this kind of brown runoff, this is all just the impurities that are stuck in the actual surface. By pulling all that out, it's giving it that natural feel again, and it's also making it easier for new products to stick to it, helping it look better for longer. So now that we're done claying, we're going to go ahead and move on to the jet seal. Like I had mentioned, this is going to give it up to 12 months of protection against UV rays, harsh elements, or anything that can actually degrade the finish of the carbon fiber. But all I need to do is shake up the product. And since we're only working in a small section being the seats here, I'm just going to apply a couple dabs to the applicator. And then we'll just go ahead and blotch it out on the seat, working it back and forth into the carbon fiber. This way we get a nice even shine as well as even protection. And then we'll give this about 15 minutes for it to bond to the surface, and then we'll start buffing it off. So now that I've applied jet seal to the seats, we're going to be as time efficient as possible. So while this is curing, we're going to go ahead and start wiping off some final things up here. This carbon fiber nose piece, it actually has a wrap on top of there, so we're going to use our wrap detailer to take off any of that loose dirt and debris so we don't scratch it. But the great thing about wrap detailer is it rejuvenates the wrap, helping it last longer, and it's also going to bring back some of that clarity so that it's not clouding. So over here, we have our wrap detailer. And I've grabbed a clean, fresh Supra Towel, sprayed directly on the surface. And I'm going to spray a little bit on the towel just so we don't create any new scratches or swirls. By letting it sit there and emulsify, it's saturating the surface, helping pick up all that debris, and now we're just going to gently wipe it away. You can see it just comes off super easy. Whoa boy. See, there's this layer of dirt and debris that it looks like it's clean, but it's actually hiding on the surface. So we're going to be extra cautious so we don't add any new scratches or swirls. But just gently wipe off, flip to a clean side, buff off any excess. You just see that mirror shine, beautiful carbon fiber weave. And we're going to move on to the back piece, the air scoop on this vehicle. This car looks like a mini Indy car. Again, we're going to spray it directly on the surface, a little bit on the towel, and just wipe off the excess. So as you can see, Wrap Detailer did an amazing job of removing all that surface debris. It's got a nice super slick feeling, and it's also rejuvenated that wrap so it can last as long as it can. But the jet seal, it's still bonding, so while that's curing, I'm going to move on to one last step. I want to apply black light to all of the tubing on this vehicle to, one, give it more shine, which is going to help bring back that black look, and it's also going to give it sealant properties which help resist any water spots, dirt and debris from sticking to this, and it's going to give it an overall protective coating which helps resist anything that's going to damage the finish, but it's going to give it an overall better look. So what we're going to do is take our black light, and in the same manner where we applied our jet seal, we're going to shake up the bottle. And since I'm working with very small sections here, it's just tubing basically, we're going to apply some dabs to the applicator, and then we'll blotch it out on the tubing, and then we'll work it into the surface and let it bond. So black light only takes about 15 minutes to cure, So while I'm applying it to the vehicle, I'm going to work my way around, and by that it should give me enough time to let the jet seal cure, so we'll buff that off and then we'll move on to the blacklight buffing off process. So after letting jet seal bond for about 15 minutes now, I'm going to take our Supra Towel and just start buffing off the excess. And by letting it cure, it's going to give it the longer lasting shine, but it's super slick, super smooth, and you can see all the way down to the weave of the carbon fiber. It's nice, beautiful design, and it's also going to protect against those harmful UV rays or any kind of harsh elements that could actually deteriorate the finish. So as you can see, by using a very thin layer, it comes off nice and easy. And also, by applying a thin layer, it's wasting less product, because if you think about it, only the very first layer is the one that's going to be bonding. Everything else is just being used and wasted. So I'm going to finish buffing this off, and then we'll move on to buffing off this black light. So I just finished buffing off the jet seal, and you can see it looks amazing. Now I'm going to move on to the black light. After letting it cure, you can see it's hazed up nicely. I've got my happy ending towel here, and I'm just going to start buffing off the excess. Comes off nice and easy because, like I said, with the jet seal, a fine layer, it wastes less product, and it also comes off nice and easy. This is our Meticulous Matte Quick Detail Spray. I'm going to spray it on the towel, and then just a little bit up here on these matte surfaces, also up here on the fender, because what this is actually a matte finished plastic surface and also fiberglass. And since, like I keep mentioning, this car is going to be outside getting tore up or thrashed around a racetrack, we want to give it as much protection as we can, just so it doesn't start fading or discoloring or even cracking over time. So by using Meticulous Matte Quick Detail Spray, one, it's picking up any kind of last residues or imperfections in the paint, fingerprints, what have you, but it's going to give it a protective layer of sealant, which is good because matte surfaces are super sensitive to any kind of harsh UV rays or any kind of discoloration. So by applying a sealant to it, it's going to keep it natural matte sheen, but it's also going to protect it against the environment. So if you guys want more of these products, check it out on our website. If you like this car or this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If there's something special you guys want to see, drop a comment below, and we'll see you guys next time right here in the Detail Garage.